Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another WIP Wednesday. We are getting through these. Before you know it, we're going to be on like episode 100, but we got a long ways to go to that. So please forgive my voice if it sounds a little weird. I was up late. We went to the fireworks show at my husband's. The city park is right outside the fire station, and so we were out there. And I wasn't even talking over the fireworks. I think it's just the fact that I was up late and still up very early, so my voice is all scratchy. But yeah, I am going to do a page out of the Chibi Girls coloring book. This book was gifted to me by a wonderful subscriber last year, and I've been slowly working my way through it. I'll leave a link in the description below. It's a very cute book. I do have a flip through on my channel if you want to see it. And if you remember from my July TBCs, which I may have said June in that video, because now I'm thinking back, did I say June? I meant July. I had picked 4 pages total that I was going to test those new Arteza Everblend markers on. A few of you were there with me when I streamed them for the Splatter Fest. Whoop! The splatters all over my swatch chart here. So I'd picked 4 images, 1 for each set, and then 1 where I'll combine the sets. And I had done that because if you buy 1 set, I wanted to show you the potential of what you could do with just that 1 set. That way you're not like, oh, well, I'd have to buy all 3 of these to get this color combo. And also, these are sold as sets that you should be able to blend with the colors you have. So, this is a WIP Wednesday and kind of us testing this theory out, because I would like to see how this works. I am using the Deco Tones one. That was my favorite from the stream, and I think everyone else's favorite too. The colors are bright and beautiful and lovely. And so I decided I would be doing this page for the Deco Tones. My scanning is all sorts of off today, but I copied it and printed it on marker paper. I have my lovely, oh, that box is heavy, Deco Tones right here. I am leaving them in the box because I need my marker storage case for my Copics. If I put these in there, I will no longer have room. I need to get a larger one. Okay, so if you didn't catch the stream, these actually fold in so that it stands up like so. It's pretty cool. Then you can put it off to the side. Their swatches don't necessarily match my swatches. I mean, they're not super off, but I mean, they're also not very close. Like, look at Marmalade and all that. So, yeah, I mean, you should always swatch in general. This swatch chart here is in my Facebook group if you would like it. It is for you guys, free to use. You just download it. I keep meaning to make a video for it and I keep forgetting. So just keep that in mind. You can go to my Facebook group and download this. If you're doing this for markers, you basically do the 3 layers. So you color in everything and then color in 2 and then add 1/3 layer here so that you can see how these layer up. And then you can basically do the same thing with your colored pencils, or you can do light, medium, heavy pressure, however you want to use it. It's free for you guys to use. So this is not really WIP because I'm starting a new page, but that's because I'm in the middle of a Hannah Carlson page that if I did on camera would probably be done in like 15 minutes and I'd have to like start a new WIP. So I was like, well, might as well just start a new WIP. Alright, so I have this printed on Arteza marker paper. I actually like their marker paper. The pad is 9x12, so you gotta cut it, obviously. And then I scanned it really awkwardly, but oh well. And then I just have some paper behind here. Now, this paper doesn't bleed, but sometimes it can with like these super dark colors. So this is just a, you know, protect my desk type of thing. If you didn't catch the live stream, I'll just quickly go over these markers. So they are a triangular shaped marker, which actually makes them easier to hold. These are the new brush tip. So I have not purchased the old Arteza. I felt they were awfully expensive considering they were just bullet and chisel nib. I like the brush nib myself. I'd never use the chisel. I wish these were brush and bullet. Ohuhu finally came out with a set that does that, which is awesome. But, you know, I digress. So yes, these are brush and chisel, and their brush nib is supposedly like the Copic. I'm still on the fence about that, but we'll see as I actually color with them. And they do have a little silver band here. Now the caps on these pull off incredibly well compared to a Copic or Ohuhu that I practically have to use pliers sometimes. I did have a lot of splatter and leakage when I swatched these live. However, that was most likely pressure from shipping and all that. So that is not necessarily the brand's problem. It's more of a shipping problem. At least I'm going to say that for now, because now that they've all sat in their case, none of them are leaking. And that they are juicy, but that's okay. That just means they didn't really short me on my alcohol ink, which I appreciate. And with any marker, even my Copics, I always try to open them away from the page because you'll get splatter regardless of brand. The caps do pop off really easily though, and in some instances while you're popping this off, you'll accidentally pop off your chisel side. So keep that in mind. That said, they still, listen for it, click. So they are sealed, they're not going to dry up. If they weren't clicking like that, I would actually worry about how easily these pop off. But you know what, Copics kill my hand. Sometimes I'm like literally sitting there frustrated. So let's give these things a go. You can always watch my swatching stream if you want. It was a splatter fest. I was covered in ink. My shirt was covered in ink. Art is messy, guys. Art is messy. I'll zoom you guys in just a teens. Since this isn't really color long, I'm not going to go in super far. But I have zero plans for how I'm going to use these markers. I just know I got 36 colors that are all bright and cute, and she's bright and cute, and we're just going to see where that goes. I don't have any grays in this set. Well, that's going to be interesting. Okay, so here's the real challenge, right? If I'm using this set, I need to do skin, and that's, I mean, powder pink would be a good one. So where's powder pink? And then I could use peach for my shading. But that might, let's see. Let's just do it. Whatever. All right. So let's get our powder pink. All right. We'll just go for it. I think that's hair. Maybe, can't tell. Now I do print on a laser jet because inkjet tends to smudgy. However, I was informed in my stream that actually some inks are water soluble for inkjet, and that's why. Whereas there's some brands or manufacturers who don't make theirs water soluble. And apparently they don't really make that readily available information, so you would have to kind of research and find out, but you can always check. If you have an inkjet, the other way around that is just use a fixative, but the problem is that would really change how my markers perform. So I always print with a laser jet, and once I run out of toner, I plan to get, ooh, that page might be too much. We're gonna find out. I'm gonna get a new laser printer, but I know laser printers are pretty pricey, although they have gone down, I'd say. I mean, compared to years ago, they've definitely gone down in price. But yeah, buy what works for your budget. But if you plan to scan and print, just keep that in mind. You're either gonna have to use a fixative or just deal with the smudging, or check and see if your ink is water soluble or not. But if it's water soluble, I don't know if there's really any way to get around that, because that is the ink the manufacturer makes, unless like maybe one of those knockoff brands, you know, because you can always buy the knockoff inks. If one of those like happen to have one that's not. I'm not liking that pink, or that peach, but it's there now. It's not too bad though. It's just kind of like, ugh. But markers are always ugly while they're wet. Just keep that in mind. All right, we'll call that her face for now. I'll probably go back and add some blush later, but I might use the pinks in her hair too. Okay, so let me put these back so I don't get these out of order too much. Okay. I know a lot of this WIP Wednesday is going to be me like picking colors because I'm like, what am I doing? Let's try doing some stars. No, I want to color her hair. Problem is I'm trying to look at all these colors I have here and like decide what I want to do with it. 36 colors is not a lot, but we're gonna make it happen. Maybe we'll do the pink hair. So I'm gonna do watermelon pink and piggy pink because I want her light hair. So watermelon and piggy. All right. Well, I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you all had a safe and happy 4th of July. I streamed on the 4th, swatching my 520 Brute Fooners. That was one long stream, but it was fun. And thank you to everyone who came and kept me occupied. Oh man, I think it almost made it 4 hours. Wow, I'm going out of the lines. I'm all sorts of sloppy today. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to try those out with you guys. I will be doing a review soon. I need to color with them first. Obviously, can't really review a pencil if I haven't colored with it, but once I get that review done and ready, I'll get that up. I did just post my review of the 120 Brute Fooners, the square ones, and that's on my channel now. That took a little bit longer than planned. I think I might add some powder pink in here. Maybe some bubble gum. Where's my bubble gum? That was because it took me a while to get coloring with those, mostly, and so it was a little delayed on that. But also I do like to take my time with my reviews. Sometimes I can get a review done in a week, but sometimes I can't, and it takes a little longer. I need to be in the mood to use a pencil. So sometimes I'm like, yeah, I just don't feel like using that pencil right now. Let's see how this turns out when it dries. Like I said, wet markers always look funky. All right, let's try this combo. But yeah, the 120 is up there now, finally. I didn't realize it had actually been that long. I bought those back in February. Whoops. But anytime I do like a swatching and first impressions, it is on my list to review. I definitely don't plan on them taking 5 months, but you know, life gets busy, so it just happened. But I do have the best intentions of reviewing things a lot quicker than that. Just so happens that I did not on those. I didn't realize it was 5 months though. That was kind of even caught me off guard. When I went to check the pricing of when I bought it versus now, I was like, oh my gosh, 5 months? Oops. By the way, this is just how I do marker hair. There's so many ways to do marker hair. This is just my way. It's kind of similar to how I do pencil hair in a way, the flickings, but not as crazy. But yeah, so let's see, we did that on the 4th of July. There were a bunch of people there. I was surprised. I thought I wouldn't have many because I figured most people would be at barbecues and whatnot. We don't really celebrate the 4th because my husband's always on duty. And then Utah is kind of weird. If a holiday other than like Christmas falls on a Sunday, they kind of just ignore it. So Like our state didn't even recognize the 4th of July till Monday. So like businesses were closed and all that. And then, like I said, my husband's work did their fireworks last night, Monday night. So yeah, it's kind of interesting how this state operates. It's funny, like a holiday is on a Sunday and they're like, oh, it just didn't happen then. I mean, if it's Christmas, they'll let that one pass, but like anything else, nope. It waits till the next business day. I still had to work because my company isn't from Utah. It's watermelon. No, bubblegum is the darker one. Okay. And so they were open like most people yesterday. So yeah, that was my 4th, just watching some fireworks. And they banned personal ones, but they allowed the city to do it. Not all cities, but my husband's city was able to because the fire department actually hosts the show. And they're literally standing there with fire trucks ready to take out anything they accidentally ignite. So that's why they got to do it. But there were still people doing fireworks out here where we live. So annoying. Because we're out in the country, and because there's a drought right now, things are very, very dry. Like the backfield of my property is just a hot, dry mess waiting for, oops, wrong end. Just waiting for something to ignite it. So yeah, they banned them. They've actually been like patrolling neighborhoods and giving out fines and all that. And one of my glorious neighbors was not only shooting fireworks off all weekend, but in the middle of a windstorm, because on July 4th, we actually had a really bad windstorm. It was like 70-mile-an-hour winds. I recorded a video because like it was just gnarly winds. And he's still shooting those off in the wind. And I'm like, dude, I mean, obviously that's going to get picked up in one of those gusts and land on someone's freaking roof or our field. So I guess I have one of those neighbors. But because it was just a few houses down, my husband called the fire station that was patrolling out here and told them where to go. And it's not to be like mean or anything like that. It is a serious fire hazard out here. Like all of our rows of houses would go up in flames if someone did that stuff and it just happened to ignite. So I feel like this needs more. Or maybe I just layered that too much. It's still wet, so we'll wait. Yeah, oh, why do I keep opening the wrong end? One thing you guys may have noticed is I did start my membership, and a few of you signed up. Thank you for that, by the way. I do want to point out, though, my channel membership is not going to block any content. So signing up for my membership is literally just helping my channel out, like helping me get supplies I need and whatnot, you know, upgrading equipment and all of that. But I am not going to lock content behind it. Like I'm not going to have members only videos or anything like that. Because I don't want anyone to ever feel like they are not going to get content because they can't afford it. I want all my content free. I want all my swatch charts free. I'm not going to sell those on Etsy to you. You can just download them. I'm making them for myself half the time anyways, so I need them. But yeah, so if you see that membership, because I had a few people ask, please don't worry, I am not going to lock any of my content. There is like one perk to my highest level where it's a one-on-one coloring session, but that's not locked content. That's us doing a live like session where I can either, you know, help you with a page or color combos or techniques or something to that effect, but no content is locked behind it. My first level is only $1.99 a month. And then with that, you get some cute emojis that I had made. They're actually really funny. I got like a dancing pencil and a water brush and a happy coloring book. I had a little too much fun having those made. But yeah, so that one's like $1.99, and then you get the badge next to your name. And then the next level up, you'll get the emojis and all that, but also I will start rolling your names in the credits of my videos, and then also just personally thanking you for supporting my channel. And then the higher level is the one where you get all of that plus the one-on-one coloring session once a month. So that's all that is there with those memberships, but they're not anything you should feel like obliged to do. Like I said, it just helps support my channel, but it doesn't lock any content. So since a few of you had asked if that meant I was going to lock content, I wanted to make sure you knew that. There is a video on the membership, like when you go to click to join, that explains like what it is. Because yeah, I don't want anyone to like worry that I'm locking content behind it. I don't even have members only chats or anything. I want it all open and out there so that way anyone can chat with me. I do reply to the comments faster if you're a member, but that's just one of the perks. But I still get back to all of you about the same. So it's not like you're gonna be waiting weeks to hear from me or something like that if you're not a member. I try to get back to you guys within the same day, usually. There's some days, like after Sunday, I kind of was like, okay, I need to step away from YouTube for the rest of the day, because I was streaming for 4 hours. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. I just wanted to let you guys know that nothing is locked, but it just helps my channel keep growing and doing all this stuff. Right now I'm actually saving, I want to get new camera setups and lighting. While I love this natural light my office gets, like if we ever have overcast or when winter hits, I won't have that same lighting. So I need to get jumping on that. I just haven't decided what I want to buy. There's so many options and you never know what's actually good or not. So I need to ask a few of my fellow colorists who have much more professional setup than me what they use. Because I actually right now am filming with my phone. And I have been. I want to eventually get away from my phone. Just haven't had the chance. But yeah, so what else has been going on? I mean, I'm still working and doing that. I did pause on my classes. I kind of talked about that in last week's WIP Wednesday. And that's mainly because of our kids and stuff. It's kind of holding me back from swapping careers right now. And I wish I could say life wasn't about money, but unfortunately it really is about money. Especially when it comes to your kids. Like for example, my son is really into baseball and we've always promised him that we would do whatever it took to support him in baseball. Oops, totally went out of the line there, and I don't have a colorless blender near me to fix it, so whatever. And kind of like I explained last week, he finally got permission from his dad to like go full speed ahead. It only took 13 years, but I would hate to like all of a sudden take that away from him because I wanted to change my career. So we are sticking with the path we are on for now. But he actually has lessons this Thursday. He got off the wait list to do professional lessons with a former pro baseball player, so he's really excited about that. And he's also going to get some hitting lessons. Basically, it's kind of a tryout. So he does a lesson with you, And then if you are showing promise, or at least, you know, seem like you're serious about it and you'll keep learning, he'll let you come back for a second lesson. And then if you, because he'll know if you've done the drills, you know, while you've been at home. If you do those drills and keep with it, then you get to keep coming back. And that's how we got invited, because I guess a few people who were on his regular lessons weren't doing their drills or weren't showing up or kept canceling. And so he offered us a spot. And so I told my son, I was like, this is your one shot. You're like basically trying out to be taught by this guy, because he wants to learn to be a pitcher. I still think he should be a third baseman because he's killer at it, but I'm just mother. One could argue I'm paying for it, so he should do what I want, but that wouldn't be fair. Gotta play the position he wants. But either way, at least he'll have lessons. We can kind of see his potential, and who knows, he could be a killer pitcher. He really wants to do it. I'm just always so nervous, and that's the mom in me. I think because I don't want him to, like, because pitching is very stressful. There's a lot of pressure on you as the pitcher. I just don't want him to, like, hate the sport by picking that position or something. I don't know. We'll see. Then my daughter just informed me she wants to go back to gymnastics. And I was like, okay then. She did gymnastics a long time ago, and she just could not get over her fear of it. I did gymnastics for a long time as a kid before I got into springboard diving. So, I mean, I get it. There's a lot to be afraid of. I mean, balance beams, goodness gracious, 4 inches to flip on. But, yeah, we had pulled her out because she was just too afraid to try. And now that she's older, she wants to try it again. Oh my gosh, it is so expensive. How much you pay a month for just one class a week? And if, like, she gets serious about it, they don't do one class a week. You know, like when I was in gymnastics, I was going 5 to 6 days a week. So, because I was on their competition team. So I was like looking at the pricing, like say she got on their comp team. I was like, oh my gosh, good thing I haven't quit jobs or switched careers, because oh my. Yeah, she wants to try that again. And then both my kids start soccer in August. And just a matter of time before my third one starts getting into sports. And then there it goes. It's downhill from there. Sports gear is not cheap. And of course, everyone needs new gear this year. Because, oops, I put those away too soon. There's pink hair there. Everyone needs new gear this year because last year there was no sports, so all their gear they grew out of. Was I using watermelon? Yeah, but that wasn't my darkest color, it was bubblegum. So yeah, I gotta buy new cleats for both kids, shin guards, everything. Like even, well, they can use their baseball socks because they're pretty much the same thing, but yeah, it's gonna be quite pricey this year. And then my youngest will probably start sports next year. And I'm just gonna be living at the field, whether it's soccer or baseball. But that's okay. That's what we do for our kiddos. It's not about us. Like once you have kids, it's no longer about you. Wish it was about me, but it's not. Let's see, bubblegum. Okay. Kind of turned out like a coralish color, huh? Even though none of those are really coral, but once you combine them, that piggy pink in a large scale definitely changes, but I think it's cute. As it's drying and evaporating over here, I'm liking it. Oh gosh, where to go next? I have no idea. I can tell you, I mean, there's some 3-color, 4-color blends. I'm not the best at blending markers. I'm still pretty new myself, so canary yellow and aniseed. Even though this is kind of a yellow-green, we're gonna see if it'll work. Maybe. I don't know yet, because I don't know if I want the lights to actually be yellow. So let's do... I don't know. I don't know. Like, I kind of want to do these like rainbow-ish, but I'm not totally sure on that one yet. Let's color the speakers. We got some purples. Let's try... Or even these blues, actually. These blues are... Let's see, Hawaii blue. Maybe. Where's Hawaii blue at? For being such a small set, it can be really hard to find colors in here. Alright, we'll just try these 2 colors. Keep it simple. These aren't too bad. I feel like because they're so juicy though, I don't feel like I can control them as well as my Copics. But the jury is still out there. That is a pretty big leap between those 2 colors, but that is the closest we've got in the BGs. The other BGs are too green. But yeah, I just don't feel... It could just be my angling here. I don't know. I don't feel like I have as much control over these. Maybe I just need to move around more. The Blick ones are back in stock, so I can go back and reorder those again. And hopefully they don't tease me again and say it's shipped and then turn out it's freaking out of stock and they're like, oops, sorry. Because that, I'm not gonna lie, was really frustrating. I didn't buy my Copics this month from Blick though. When I do my July haul, I'll show you guys. But I found a new site that has Copic Sketch, not Chow, Copic Sketch for like $4 each. Yeah, you heard me right. So instead of 10, like I normally buy to keep within my budget, I bought 13 and still paid under my budget. So I am super happy. The only real question is how long it takes for them to send them because they haven't shipped them yet. So, and I ordered them over a week ago, so I'm kind of nervous now. Like, So that's why I'm waiting till my haul before I'm like, hey guys, check out this new company, because maybe they just stole my money. I don't know. It's called like Cozy's Scrapbooking. Now, they're on Etsy, and you can actually buy, they sell like Copics in 10 packs on Etsy for a killer rate. And but the problem is I already had a few of those colors, so that was my problem, was like the 10 pack already had some of the colors that I had, so I would either have to resell on like eBay or whatnot, but it was just kind of a waste for me. So I had found their website and you can buy them like open stock that way instead of in their packs. Now their packs on Etsy, I believe, are slightly cheaper than buying from their site, but don't quote me on that, because I just was so happy that they were cheaper than Blick, because Blick is gosh, what is it, like $5.90 a marker, something like that. I love the squeak of alcohol markers. Does anyone else like that squeak, or am I just the only weirdo? Let's see how that dries. I'm just trying to blend it out with a teensy. Yeah, these are juicy. Juicy, juicy. That one went right out of there. Back to this one. Let's see, what else is going on? I think my brain is so tired that I can't think. I'm like, there was a whole thing of like what I was going to talk about today, and now I'm like, what was that? I am not a late person. I mean, I do have my sleeping troubles. Like, I'll wake up suddenly at like 3 in the morning and can't fall back asleep. But I don't like stay up late. So, and that one main reason is I'm always up at the same time no matter what. I'm always up at 6 a.m. I don't even need to set an alarm. I do, but I don't really need it because I'm totally awake by then. But yeah, that's why I always go to bed early. So we got home like 11:30. By the time I got the kids all settled and everyone in bed, it was like midnight already. And I was just like, oh my gosh, they're actually still asleep while I'm filming this, and they'll probably sleep in for a while. Whereas I'm like, can't sleep in. I never have been able to. Well, I shouldn't say never. When I was younger, I slept in just fine. But after having kids, I've noticed that I tend to wake up early, but I think it's because subconsciously my brain wants that quiet time alone where the house is just everyone's asleep, you know, I'm able to just kind of enjoy the house to myself. I honestly think that's what it is. And so my body just gets up because it's like, nope, you can't waste your alone time. Because if I sleep in and wait till everyone else is up, then, yep, I don't get to like enjoy a cup of coffee in peace. I don't get to journal. I don't get to do much anything in peace. I'll be getting everyone's breakfast and going about and getting us all ready. I do not like how that turned out, but whatever. We're gonna call it good and see how it evaporates. See, just make this a solid color. Sometimes you don't need to blend all the time. I guess with this speaker, we'll just kind of do what I did before. I don't even know what these things are called in the speaker. I know there's a name. If my dad was watching this, he'd probably be, what the heck? Because he builds custom speakers. And has since I was a kid, but I don't remember what these are called. I don't like these nibs. They're not like a Copic. At least not to me. I don't know. I need to use them more. But they're also not, they're definitely not like an Ohuhu or anything like that. So there's just something with these. But I definitely want the Blick ones because I want to check those out. Supposedly those are really, really close to the Copic feel. I'm going to try just going light first on these. But yeah, the Copic one, I just feel like I have more control over. Where's this one? I don't know. But this is why I don't review things immediately after I swatch them, because I want to color with them, play with them, and see what I think. Oh yeah, these definitely blend better if you put your light layer down first. Lame. Copic doesn't need that. Let's see. I still got a whole other speaker over here. I got these ones too. I think I'll just put these as dark. But yeah, like I wanted to do each set on its own with a picture and color with it and then put them together. I don't know why they're doing this whole set thing though. I'm not gonna lie, I find it a little bit obnoxious. And the reason is because there's actually, they have a portrait set also that has a few colors I couldn't get in the 3 I bought. They also have their grayscale set. But you have to buy like all these separate sets for $70-something each. And the portraits set overlaps colors from the other sets. So that's why I didn't buy that one. because I wasn't about to double up on markers. But I just kind of find it weird how they came out with that, and I really hope they combine them. I know their other Everblends are combined into one set. I don't know why they did it this way with these. But who knows? I guess I could always email them and ask them. Hey guys, do you mind explaining why you chose this path? But yeah, I mean, these are supposedly a similar nib to a Copic. But I would love to use these, kind of see if I get any frays or issues like that. I mean, they definitely squeak like a Copic. They got the squeak. You don't get the squeak with your oh-hoo-hoos. See that squeak? I love the squeak. I don't know why, but I find that squeak like really satisfying. Maybe it's because I'm like, I'm creating something. Yeah, I just don't feel like I can feather it out as easily as my Copics. But also these colors are very far from one another. But that's one thing I wanted to test. Like, could you make decent blends with using just the 36 colors? Now, I'm not very seasoned with markers, so it's even better test, because can someone who's newer to markers, you know, blend with what they've got here? Because, like, you know, look at what I'm jumping from. I'm jumping from really dark to really light. That's quite the leap there. So, you know, like, if you're new to markers, I always say keep them really, really close to one another. Oh, I need to put the light down first for these, that's right. So yeah, you would want to keep them really close to one another and slowly build up. Whereas, you know, people who are more experienced with markers can take those ones that aren't close at all and make them blend like no other. And I'm still new to markers, so I struggle to do that. But I feel like kind of the colors in this set, while some are close, others are really far away. So you would have to sit here and either be really good already at blending, or like me, kind of keep layering and hope for the best. Wait, light one first. Light one first. So now with my Copics, I don't need to put my light color down first, but it seems like these ones are doing better with it down first. Also, it could be the fact that I'm jumping from a very dark to a very light color, so there's a few factors there. But I also noticed their colors, when you layer them on my swatch chart, don't layer like a Copic. Copic colors really build up, whereas some of these don't at all. Like the third layer is barely even noticeable, whereas with a Copic it is. In fact, let me show you guys. Like, look at that. You can barely see it. Same with the purple, barely see it. Sapphire blue, you barely see it. I mean, all of these, actually, to be honest, you barely see the gradient, whereas with a Copic, it is very clear that I have 2 and 3 layers. So that is one thing I did notice when, after my stream, I went back and layered all of them. And that is one thing that I will note when I do my official review, which will be a while because I've got 2 other sets plus a combo to color. But yeah, I definitely have noticed that they aren't layering like the Copics do. I mean, alcohol ink is alcohol ink. There's no like fancy schmancy ink recipe, but the pigment itself is, you know, like what they decided for their color choices. That plays a role in it. And the nib. And the nib. I don't know. I don't know. I keep forgetting to keep my light one out. Alright, let's see if we can make this side blend better than the other speaker. Now I do like marker paper because it stays wet longer. This is not blend it or blending paper though. Those are two different things. I really want to get some blending paper. I think as me being new to markers, the blending paper might actually be easier for me as opposed to just marker paper. That said, regardless, I recommend at least using marker paper because you're not going to destroy your nib as much and you're not going to waste as much ink. Marker paper stays wet longer, so you have a little bit more time to move, you know, and play around with your blends and all that. Whereas like with, you know, say create space paper or even regular cardstock, it starts to evaporate a lot faster and then you're just like, oh shoot. So that's always something to keep in mind. The blending paper is like tremendously amazing to watch people blend on. It's just also very expensive. Although my friend Ryan over at Glitter Grunge Greetings did tell me which one to buy. I just can't remember which one, so I need to ask him. There's a cheaper alternative to the Express It blending paper that is ridiculously expensive. So I just need to remember what that cheap one was he was telling me about. But yeah, I mean, either way, at least use marker paper. At least. I used to try and blend on cardstock. And then, I don't even remember what made me try marker paper, but then I did and I was just like, oh my gosh, okay, I can see now why I've sucked at doing markers for so long. There is a world of difference between just those and definitely create space paper, because create space paper just soaks up your ink so bad. And then it dries so quickly, so then you're like, you know, can't blend anything. It looks completely awful. I'm just like, no. And these marker pads weren't too expensive. Can't remember exactly how much, but they come in a 2-pack. I remember that much. And there's definitely other brands of marker paper too. I didn't pick Arteza just because I'm using Arteza markers. I actually bought the Arteza paper long before I bought Arteza markers. So, FYI. Yeah, I don't know about those, but whatever. They're there now. Alright, let's try one more color blend. Oh, the things I risk on camera. Bad blending. What color do I want her dress? Maybe her dress should be purple because if I do blue, that's awfully close there. So let's try this deep iris and orchid. Do some bows. Oh, that's right. Start with a light. Are ultra juicy though. Juicy, juicy markers. I know a few of you bought the Deco set from my stream, so you'll have to let me know if you've gotten them and what you think. I'm curious what your thoughts are. If you have Copics, I'd love to hear what you think, if you feel these are close. I know right now that looks like one just big purple blob, but wait for it to evaporate and then you'll see. Sometimes with markers, you're like, oh my gosh, I ruined it. But once it evaporates, you see all the other colors you added in there. Yeah, I am curious about those who have Copics, what you think of these markers. I love the Arteza products. I don't love their price. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be honest. I kind of feel like some of their stuff is a little overpriced for what it is. Like, I do like the Arteza colored pencils, but I don't feel they should be as expensive as they are. And their open stock, definitely not. Their open stock is ridiculous. Like, they sell them in 3-packs. And I mean, it's cool they have open stock, but the price of them, I'm just like, wait, what? That's more than a polychromos pencil. So I don't know, Arteza's trying to compete with the big guns, but I don't think they're quite there yet. Great products, I wish they would kind of work on their pricing a little more reasonable. Especially because they are supposed to be like a budget brand, but I feel as of late they're just getting pricier and pricier. Oh, there we go, that nib was alright. Some of them are stiffer, some are not. I almost want to like color or find some comparable Copic colors and try coloring the same page, but that would be a lot of work. Technically, you should always do multiple layers with markers, not just like put down your color and call it a day, but in these teeny tiny spaces, I put down my color and call it a day. I'm just like, no, I'm good. I'm not gonna sit here and layer in this tiny little space. My girl only has so much patience, guys. Plus these two colors are really close to one another, just making them blend a little easier, but also washing each other out a teensy bit. So I don't know why, but purples I find to be the hardest ones to blend in any brand, not just like Arteza, but even with my Copics. I do find Copics a little easier, but still I struggle with my purples, even with my Copics. Definitely with my Ohuhus, I can't blend anything purple with Ohuhu. I've tried, they all look ugly. So what is that with purples? Because I've seen other people also struggle, so it's not just me, thank goodness, because I thought it was just me. But what is it about purple that makes it so hard to blend? Does anyone know? Because I'm actually legit curious. Is it just the pigment itself that makes it harder? Or is it just because manufacturers don't have colors that are close enough? I mean, I don't know. Like these ones are close enough and these are blending just fine, but there's some purples that I really want to use and blend together, and like my Ohuhus, and I cannot create anything with those. It could also just be I'm new to markers and just need to practice more, but yeah, no. Let me know in the comments below if you also struggle with the purple problem. All right, I think we'll finish off her skirt and call it a day. I just don't feel like these move like my Copics. Like when I feather them out, I don't feel they feather as well. Of course, maybe I should be testing markers on more sleep. It's a bigger part of her skirt, so it'll show a little better. It's not too bad. needs to be a little bit more defined. I want those creases to look like creases. I do want to use my markers more. I want to get really good at markers. Gosh, I wanted to do watercolors today. I almost, because there's that, oh my gosh, I can't even think of the tag right now. It's a daily prompt for watercoloring, and I keep meaning to do it and then forget because I get busy, but like each day they have a prompt and you just color a watercolor picture to match, and it can be anything. Like I think the other day's prompt was dainty, so I mean you can literally color up anything that you feel is dainty. It's open to interpretation. It's not like they say color me a giraffe, although they did have a challenge like for that, but for July I think it's word of watercolor is the challenge for July. I think that's what it is, because normally they do tell you like color this, but this one is just kind of, they give you a prompt and then you take it where you take it. And I keep meaning to do that, and I almost thought it would be fun to do, what is today? The 6th. I haven't done any of them yet, so I almost did that today for WIP Wednesday, doing all 6, but I haven't. I just haven't gotten there in my mental space yet. Like this, because this morning I was sitting there like, what would be dainty and what on earth would I color? But I do plan to participate and catch up on it. I'm actually going to use my little Paul Rubin watercolor book. I'll show you guys real quick before we call it a day. So for Amazon Prime Day, I got these markers, but also Paul Rubens were on sale, including the Paul Rubin bundles. And one of the bundles included a watercolor book. It's teensy. It's a teensy little book, but it's cool because it's just like, this would be perfect for daily reflections or little mini sketches, testing out some swatches and, color combos. I mean, this paper is really good and thick, and it is perforated if I wanted to tear it out. But I had thought of using this for those word of watercolor daily prompts, and possibly even getting 2 on a page. And some of these, depending on what I use, I can use there's the bookmark. I might even be able to use the back side. But yeah, I was going to use this little book because it came as part of a bundle with my Paul Rubin paints, and it's super cute and little, and then I don't have to waste like a huge pad of paper. I can just use this, and I like how it's kind of like a journal, this little bookmark. I actually want to buy more of these, but these are like 15 bucks. 15 bucks for this. So I'm kind of like, maybe I'll wait on that, because I think it's, 20 sheets and it's 300 GSM. So I would definitely have to use the back if I do all 31 prompts or double them up. But because this is so thick, I could totally use the back of this. And most watercolor journals, if they're made with the right paper, you should be able to use the back. So keep that in mind. If you're ever buying a watercolor sketchbook or journal, make sure it's thick enough to where you could use the back. Because if you can only use one side, that's really a big waste of paper. All right, guys. Well, let me zoom out. Here is so far our Chibi girl, Chibi Rockstar, using the Deco Tones. I still have a ton of work to do, but this is the glory of markers. I mean, yeah, this took almost an hour, but I'm talking and I'm also on like limited sleep. But I can finish a marker picture the same day I start it if I wanted to. Like, it's not with pencils. I mean, you just belt them out so much quicker. And so that is one thing I absolutely love about markers, which is why I added all 4 marker pages to my TVCs this month. Because I was like, yep, that's going to be easy. I'll just sit down when I feel like playing with markers and get them done. But yeah, I'll keep working on this, and I'll share it on Instagram when it's done. I need to touch up that part of her hair. But so far, these aren't bad. I know I was like commenting a few negative things while using them, but that's just you know, observations that I would normally say in my head privately when I'm doing this, but you guys are basically watching my live testing of these. So I just had to point out, you know, the nibs they just don't feel like a Copic nib. I don't know. Someone tell me I'm not wrong. Because they just don't. But thank you guys for hanging out with me while we worked on this. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you next week.